In ZenlessZoneZero, you have your A rank characters and you have your S rank characters. Now there's a little bit of an in-between there, where you have your A rank characters who think that they are S rank characters, and they absolutely deserve their spot as pretend S rank characters. Meet Piper, possibly the best freaking 4-star in the entire game. Now, Piper is one of 2 anomaly characters, the other one being Grace. Now, Piper is a physical anomaly character, and being physical anomaly means that she is very, very freaking good at building up the physical anomaly bar on enemies. And if you understand how freaking strong Disorder as a status is in this, you can start piecing together why Piper is so freaking strong. Now, Piper was the last 4-star I managed to pull. And I didn't think much of her, like just looking at her design, like I didn't give her a second thought. Then I started reading her stuff, and then I realized, oh my god, this character is actually freaking crazy. So, what does Piper do? How should you play her? How should you build her? All of that, etc. Let's get in on it. Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Hako. And today we're going to be talking about Piper. So, let's go over Piper's skills. For core skill enhancement, every other level you get base energy regen, which is very, very freaking good, because Piper operates very much by her energy. Her energy to do her EX special attack. So she's an EX special attack monster, she doesn't bring much else to the table, but her amazing EX special attack just makes her one of the best units in the game alone. So every other level you will get base energy regen, and every other level you will get base attack. Also, very important, her core passive power charge. When Piper's EX special attack, engine spin or ultimate hits an enemy, she gains 1 stack of power up to a maximum of 20 stacks. Now, 20 stacks might seem like a lot, but not for Piper, because she hits so many times with her EX special. Lasting for 12 seconds. Repeating triggers reset the duration. For every stack of power, Piper's physical anomaly build-up rate increases by 3%. So now, 3% stacking up to 20 times, that's a 60% increase at full stacks for Piper's physical anomaly build-up rate. Now, this is insane. This is bananas, and you want to level this. You really want to level this because it really makes a difference. And the percentage of the physical anomaly build-up rate also increases per level, which is great. Now, additional ability synced acceleration. This one is a very interesting one. When another character in your squad shares the same attributes or faction, when Piper has 20 or more stacks of power, which means when she's fully stacked, or a little bit more when you have the right cinemas, all squad members' damage is increased by 18%. Now, an 18% flat increase to damage is insane. That is such a good thing to have. So, wherever you can, make sure that Piper actually has her synced acceleration activated, if that makes sense. That means either pairing her with Lucy or another physical damage character. Now, when it comes down to her skills, it isn't complicated at all. Her basic attacks, you can see it only has 1 row. Skill priority here is just level up skill enhancement or the special attack. Upgrade this as far as possible when it comes to Piper. Everything else is kind of a low priority. If you run Piper as your main damage dealer, you might want to go for the ultimate one, but for now, stick with special attack. The dodge, nothing fancy. Nothing special on any of them. Same with the quick assist. Although, she does have a defensive assist where if you switch her in at the right time when like a boss does like a 5-hit move on you, her defensive assist does not eat up all of your assist tokens, which is fine. Now, Piper's bread and butter is her special attack. Now, there is a little trick to getting the most out of this ability. So, special attack, tire spin. She spins around, she spins to win. Anybody that's played League of Legends, played Garen, will find this move very familiar. So you press E to activate it from keyboard. Piper spins and launches a sweeping slash around her, dealing physical damage. Now this is if you use press it. Although you never want to use press Piper's skill, instead you want to be holding it. And hold will extend the skill duration, unleashing increasingly powerful spinning slashes and increasing the charge level of the skill up to 2 times. Now here comes the kicker. I've seen a lot of people use Piper Although I haven't seen a lot of people use Piper necessarily the right way when it comes to her skill. Because if we read here, if the skill is used after the first free hit of a basic attack. So if you start revving it on the third hit, in her basic attack combo, dash attack or dodge counter, you can quickly activate special attack tire spin for an increased charge level. So when you start spinning with Piper, it doesn't really do much the first second or so, and like then it ramps up. But if you activate it mid-combo, so after 3 hits of basic attack, or a dash attack, or a dodge counter, you will like you already start driving in gear 3, if that makes sense. Piper also has a lot of anti-interrupt level when she spins. Now this is so you don't get sent flying on your ass when you're doing the skill, and it's very handy. And she also gets a damage reduction of 40%. So usually when I'm pipering, I like no matter what comes her way, I just keep on spinning. She can take it. And special attack 1 trillion tons. So this sounds like something Usopp from One Piece would use. While special attack tire spin is active, release the skill button to trigger a downward smash attack based on the charge level special attack tire spin dealing physical damage. So this is basically when you let go of the skill, you will do a little bit of a downward smash. Now Piper's special attack isn't that much before you have enough energy to turn it into an EX special attack, and here's where she starts cooking. With enough energy, continue holding the special attack button after special attack tire spin reaches maximum charges level to activate. Rapidly spins, unleashing powerful spinning slashes around her and dealing massive physical damage. Now this is where Piper really shines. This skill consumes energy continuously for up to 3 seconds. During the skill activation, anti-interrupt level increases and damage taken is reduced by 40%. So it's basically just an amped up version of the original skill. And then we have the finisher EX special attack really heavy. During EX special attack engine spin, release the skill button to activate. And then we have EX special attack really heavy. So at the end of when you're done spinning, so either when the duration is at an end because it lasts for 3 seconds, yeah? Either when the 3 seconds have passed or you're out of energy, Piper will finish with a heavy downward slash dealing physical damage. Now, this is a lot of text, but basically she starts spinning. If she has enough energy to go into EX special, she starts spinning even harder and the physical anomaly buildup is increased by a lot. While she is spinning, she will accumulate, what are they called? They are called power. Up to 20 stacks. And the more stacks, the more physical anomaly buildup rate. That's why her spin is so freaking good, because it is second to no other skill in the game when it comes to building up any anomaly build-up rate. Think of her like a car when she starts spinning. Like when you go into the EX, she becomes a car. She drives as fast and hard as she can until she's out of gas, which is her energy. Now, for Piper's equipment, you want to be running her on Freedom Blues 4 pieces. And the 2 pieces increases anomaly proficiency by 30. And 4 pieces, when an EX special attack hits an enemy, reduce the target's anomaly build-up rest to the equipper's attribute by 20% for 8 seconds. Which means whenever Piper's EX attack, which is a spin, hits an enemy, their resistance against physical will be reduced, and this is by far her best set. For 2-piece, I choose to go Fanged Metal. You can also slap on... I go Fanged Metal because they increase physical damage by 10%. You can also go Woodpecker Electro, but I would go with Fanged Metal. You can also, if you want energy, you can slap on... What's the set called now again? You can slap on Puffer Electro, give it some pen ratio. Or you might even consider slapping on 2 pieces of Swing Jazz. Actually, Swing Jazz is not a bad idea. Piper needs a lot of energy. When she doesn't have enough energy to do an EX spin, she doesn't do much. So either go Fanged Metal for some more damage, or you go Puff, or you go Swing Jazz for some more energy regen. So 4 pieces of Freedom Blues, and then 2 pieces of Freedom Jazz. You can also go 4-piece Fanged Metal, so she gets more damage whenever she inflicts Assault. It is an option. I would, however, stick with Freedom Blue. When it comes to Piper's W engines, we have a few options. Signature one is Roaring Ride, and it's tailor-made for her. When an EX special attack hits an enemy, one of 3 possible effects is randomly triggered for 5 seconds. This effect can trigger once every 0.3 seconds. So basically, Piper is one of the very, very few characters in the game that can actually make use of this, because her EX attack has several hits to it. Now, one of the effects is it increases her attack by a certain percent, and one is increases the equipper's anomaly proficiency by 58 at this level, and increases the equipper's anomaly build-up rate by 36%. Now, since Piper is Piper, she's gonna have a very easy time activating this, and within a second, actually 0.9 seconds of doing her EX special, she will have all 3 of these buffs active. Now, this is arguably her very best one. If you've gotten lucky enough to pull the Grace's Fusion Compiler, this is also an option, and I switch around, I've crunched some numbers. It's hard to tell which is the actual best one, but if you have Fusion Compiler, which is Grace's signature one, you can absolutely slap this on Piper. She will do very good with the increased base attack, and the pen ratio is nothing to scoff at. Some other options would be the Weeping Gemini, which, whenever a squad member inflicts an attribute anomaly on an enemy, the equipment gains a buff to increase anomaly proficiency by 30, stacking up to 4 times. Now, this isn't bad. The effect is lost whenever the enemy recovers from a stun or the enemy dies. Now, this is nothing to scoff at all. This is a good one. Another option you could go for is the one you get from the Battle Pass, which is the very uncanny looking Electro Lip Gloss. Now, this one also works when there are enemies that inflict the attribute anomaly on the field. The equipment attack increases by 10%, and they deal an additional 5% more damage to the target. Now, out of all of the A rank ones, this I would put at the back instead. Try and get her signature one, Roaring Engine or Roaring Ride. Don't bother about the 3-star ones ever. Get Roaring Engine or Roaring Ride. Otherwise, Weeping Gemini, if you're lucky enough, you can use Graces. And for Piper's cinemas, now Piper is absolutely amazing. She doesn't need any cinema to work, but if you were to get the cinemas, they are a big boost to her. And the first one, when Piper's special attack, tire spin, EX special attack, engine spin, or ultimate hits an enemy with a spinning slash, there's a 50% chance to gain an additional stack of power. The maximum stack limit of power is increased to 30. And now her base cap is 20. This gives her 10 more power, so she can stack it up to 30 times, and if you remember, every stack gives her a certain percentage to physical anomaly build-up rate. So being able to stack 10 more of those, amazing. Second one, motivation. During special attack tire spin and EX special attack engine spin, Piper's movement speed increases. When using special attack 1 trillion tons, EX special attack really heavy, or ultimate to launch a downward smash that hits the enemy, the physical damage dealt by the move is increased by 10% for each stack of power. This buff is further increased by 1%. Now, this is a lot. This actually like really adds up. Her third one just increases her dodge, assist, special attack, chain attack, and basic attack. And this is quite good because if you remember, her bread and butter is her special attack. 5-1, personal hobbies. No, wait, sorry, 4. Whenever a squad member inflicts an attribute anomaly on an enemy, Piper recovers 20 energy. This effect can trigger once every 30 seconds. Now, as I said, energy is like really Piper's bottleneck. If she had an unlimited amount of energy, she would do an unlimited amount of billions of damage. So anything that gives Piper more energy is gonna be super valuable, and this is super freaking nice. Personal hobbies increases basic attack, dodge, assist, special attack, and chain attack with 2 levels. And for her 6th one, now this one might not look like much if you compare it to some other C6s, but damn me if it might not be one of the game's craziest ones once you get crunching the numbers and once you think about it. Increases the duration limit of EX special attack engine spin by 2 seconds. Now 2 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but remember, the original cap on her spin in EX form is 3 seconds. So you extend the max duration by 2/3, and you extend the duration of power, which is what you get when you hit people with your spin. You extend the duration of power by 4 seconds. And if we remember from her core skill, if her passive is up, if she's paired with someone that triggers her faction, she buffs the entire team by an insane amount whenever she has a max stack of power. And having that insane buff lasting 4 seconds longer is nothing to scoff at all. Now, when it comes to Piper's team building, it gets interesting, because she is one of the most versatile characters in the game in terms of she can fit into basically any team and she will pull her own weight. And she does this largely because the disorder anomaly that occurs when a character is already suffering or an enemy is already suffering from a status effect, like shocked or burning, and then they get afflicted with another one, like assault, triggers 1 billion damage. So this makes Piper very, very freaking good in any team, even if you cannot get her passive faction bonus to work, although please make sure that you go out of your way to make it work. So the absolute best team for Piper would look something like this: Nekomata, Piper, and Lucy. Now this team is freaking busted because Nekomata has a passive that allows her to do a lot more damage after an enemy has been afflicted by assault. And it's Nekomata's EX special attack that increases. So this is the very best team. You have Nekomata, Piper, and Lucy. And Piper is one of 2 characters in Sons of Caledon, the other one being Lucy, so this activates her passive, and it also activates Nekomata's passive, because both Nekomata and Piper are physical damage dealers. As for the Bangboos for this, you can go Lucky Boo, which is the new free Bangboos that we get, and like make freaking sure you get this one because it's amazing. The absolute best one is an S-rank Bangboos called Revolver Boo that I do not have. It is on my wish list. Now, another team you can be running with Piper would be the team I've been running on Piper. So like this is basically, no, we have the Nekomata team at home, and it's Corin, Piper, and Lucy, and like this team is actually so freaking fun. I have several videos showcasing this free-to-play friendly team off. Another version you can go is like having more Piper as a little bit of a main carry, I guess. Could look something like this, when Piper takes more of a leading role. Kolida acts as a stunner, Lucy as the buffer, and could work. I personally would not run Piper as a main DPS because she is very reliant on her EX special attack, and when that one is down, she doesn't do super much. Another team I run Piper in is Grace, Piper, and... Wait, why can't I add the third one? Ah, there we go. Would look something like this: Grace, Piper, and Rena. Now, this is a disorder-focused team. So Grace, which is the other anomaly character in the game, there are currently only 2, is Piper and Grace. So I pair them up together. Grace applies a lot of shock, and Piper applies a lot of assault, and together they make a lot of disorder damage. Rena is here for buffs and debuffs and whatnot, and this is just an absolutely cracked team. Now, as you might notice, this does not activate Piper's passive abilities, so her stacks won't actually buff the team, which is a shame. Even though that's a thing, there is not one single character currently in the game that I could slot in the middle slot and have better results than simply having Piper there. She is that good. Now some gameplay tips to make the most out of Piper and how to use her efficiently. She isn't that complicated, like she's really good, but she's not that complicated. So her bread and butter is her EX special attack, in which she does her spin. Now this spin is second to nothing in the game when it comes to building up anomaly, and physical anomaly in Piper's case. Now, if you're pairing her up together in a team with, let's say, Nekomata, or let's say Corin, wearing Fang Metal set, which increases their damage to any enemy by 35% if that enemy has suffered assault. Now, that is a massive freaking increase in damage, and you want to make sure you trigger that before you do any of those characters' fancy moves. So, before you send in Corin to do her ultimate, make sure that you've sent in Piper before and like assault the enemy, so Corin gets the most damage done possible. This becomes a little bit like less relevant when it comes to a Grace team, for example, when you're using Piper more for the disorder status. Then in that case, it's more to make sure that you are ready to proc the assault as soon as you proc the shock from your electric units. And remember, if you use her E or her EX special attack in an attack combo, you get more time in the EX. You get going much faster. You don't have to drive through gear 1, 2, 3. Instead, you start at gear 3. So always try and remember to start your spin once your 3 hits into your attack combo, and that will help out a lot. Now that is gonna be everything I have to say about Corin. And now at the end of all things, I want to thank you, dear viewer, if you're still watching. This was super fun putting together. I've been wanting to do a Piper guide for a long time. She is one of my favorite units to use in the game. And I hope I don't know, open her up to some people. Like, maybe this piqued your interest of trying her out, and I promise you, you will not regret it. And I also want to extend a warm thank you to anybody that commented, and to the warm reception in general I got on my Lucy guide. If you haven't watched that yet, I'll slap it into the description. And on that video I got some very lovely, very, very lovely words, and especially one comment stood out to me, where there was some constructive criticism. Now, when you put out stuff on YouTube, you do get a lot of nasty comments, but some comments are just top tier, better than others. And I want to extend an extra big thanks to, let's see so I don't mess up the name, Leo Torres, I think is how I'm supposed to pronounce it. I'll smack the comment here. That kind of had a constructive criticism on the format of my videos, the resolution. So I'm playing on an ultra-wide monitor, and I upload my videos in ultra-wide format. Now, if you're not watching those videos on an ultra-wide monitor, you will have some slight black bars at the top and bottom, and just makes the game screen a little bit smaller. They had a constructive criticism that they formulated super freaking well. That hey, when you do guides and such, I get a little bit tired, following along, since the text is a little bit smaller, since I'm not watching on ultra-wide. Just FYI, I hope you don't find this rude, and I just found that to be such a lovely freaking comment, and such well put forward. And yeah, big thank you for that. That's why this video is recorded in normal resolution, if that makes sense. So no black bars, nothing, and you have all the screen real estate as you should have. So once again, thank you all so freaking much for watching. This took a lot of time to make and edit together. If you feel like I deserve it, please feel super free to leave a thumbs up and maybe a follow the channel. I'm basically only doing Zenless content since Zenless released now, and absolutely loving the game. Let's not ramble on, but instead, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, friend, goodbye.